everyone, Sarah from the Paper Cut here, and today we are doing our everything diagonal fold class. Our little bit of technical difficulties yesterday was sound. So sometimes when you are listening and you're having trouble, I think it's just a matter of putting some earbuds in and listening that way, because we have our sound turned totally up and we've done some tests, so we should be good. Another option for you is I will be uploading this to YouTube after. So if you want to watch but you couldn't hear me very well, you can always ask me to send it to you on YouTube. So that's another option for you. I'm also trying to talk a little bit louder. So in class today, I'm just going to go through what we're doing. We are doing the graduation cap card. Mine is missing the U. I don't know where it went. It fell out. We found it yesterday and I never taped it back on. And yes, I'm still without it. So the graduation cap card is one card that we'll be doing. Then we'll be doing the twist and pop card. So that. And then we are doing the reverse explosion card. So this class is everything diagonal folds. With some people have told me that I'm crazy for doing a folding card on a virtual class. Because if I was teaching this in person, we know that I would be helping some of you fold their cards, or you would have table buddies that would be helping you fold your cards. So we're here virtually and we're gonna try and get it done and help you through it. If you are really struggling, don't get frustrated and throw your arms up. Just, you can watch and then you can watch it later because it'll be saved on the videos on this page. So you can watch it later and do it with me. I had one person yesterday that I FaceTimed and we got her card done because she was struggling with something. So we will get you through this. The other thing with doing the virtual classes is if you're missing pieces, which I think we had a small batch that were missing their little squares on here, just the die cut ones, I will mail those to you. So I do apologize if you are missing any pieces, but since we are virtual, I can't like hand them to you. I can't get them to you through the phone, but I will mail them to you. So we had a small snafu, I think, when we were kitting those. So anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with our grad cap card. We're gonna get through that one. Then we're gonna move on to our twist and pop card. And then the last one will be our reverse explosion card. So pull out your twist or your grad cap kit. Mine looks a little bit different than yours probably, but your grad cap kit. In that, you are going to need, at least to start with, you're going to need your grad cap base card for the folding. And that's all you really need. Now we do sell these in some packages. We sell the black ones with the white inside layer. We sell the white, and then we have some different kits for like different colors of graduates. And we have more colors that are showed here, but if you have somebody that goes to a different school, we have some different colored ones. So we're gonna get right to the folding, and then I'll talk more while you're doing a little bit of assembly or waiting for questions. Now questions, if you've never taken a class with me before, there's a little bit of a lag time. So we've got somebody here reading questions. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in. If I don't answer it right away, it's because I don't get it for about 30 to 45 seconds. So I do try and repeat things many times, and I try and do some filler with what products are available and such while I'm waiting to see if there are questions for specific things. So for folding, and I'm gonna fold with a white one, but you're gonna have your black one. And I usually have a drawing showing what we're doing. So on this first one, you're gonna start and the bumps are gonna be up. Okay, the bumps are always the inside of the card. The bumps are gonna be up, and the first fold is the straight across one. You're gonna fold that as a mountain fold. When I'm saying a mountain fold, it's this fold right here because it looks like a mountain. When I say a valley fold, it's this fold right here because it is the valley. Okay, so your straight one, you're gonna fold like a mountain. Then you're gonna kind of just unfold it. Then we're gonna go to our two diagonal folds, and those fold straight across as a valley fold. So So valley fold and then unfold it, and then valley fold and unfold it. You will notice that these two little areas right here are kind of popping in, and I take my fingers and I push those in and then push it flat down. Now at this point, I think I forgot to tell you this on your supplies needed, that if you have a bone folder to pull that out. I don't have a bone folder. I might be the only person on the face of the earth, but a scissors works really well. So if you have a bone folder, just give it a nice little push to flatten those scores, because we're actually folding paper not how it wants to be folded. There's a lot of bulk in there and the paper's saying no way, and you're saying yes, you're going to do as I say. So I'm going to fold one more for you. Actually, this time I don't have any white ones. I'm just going to fold my black one. So you're going to fold it first as a mountain fold. Then you're going to go to your, actually as a mountain fold, sorry. I folded it backwards because it was pre-folded like that. So a mountain fold. Unfold it, then on your two diagonals, you're going to fold it like a valley, and then a valley. Then after we unfold it, these two sides are sticking in, and you're just going to push your fingers, fold it nice and flat. That's to get your Grad Cap card. Now, in your kit, and I'm just going to talk for a little bit, and if you want to assemble, you can. In your kit, you have some other things. You have this Grad Cap layer, which fits nicely inside there. This I did pre-stamp. All the stamps in this class are Impression Obsession. So I did pre-stamp that. That is this item right here, and that also works on our Twist and Pop card. So that goes on the inside. Then you have some other layers. This piece is a piece of our brushed silver, and it just attaches right onto the front. Your piece of Blast holographic is just going to attach to your little piece of black. Then that, now this is where you need to pay a little bit of attention. When you're attaching your holographic onto the front of your card, you're going to use foam tape, and you just want to use foam tape on these outer edges, because if you use foam tape or regular two-sided tape on the whole thing, then you won't be able to tuck your Grad Cap inside there. So foam tape only on the outer edges, and that's because you want to be able to tuck this cap down inside there. That's to hold your card shut. So I have foam tape just on these outer edges in order to make my cap slide underneath there. Now, a couple things about holographic and attaching glue things to the holographic. When I did the Happy For You, you want to use glue or a dot roller, and you want to apply it very minimally. So you don't want to apply very much, because if you get too much glue on there and it gets on the front of the holographic, it won't come off. So you just want to be very minimalistic when you're attaching words onto the top of your holographic, or when you're doing this little piece, which you could use a narrow tape runner. And then I did take a scissors and I just kind of chopped that to match my angle. This piece was a little bit longer, so you are going to chop it. I did mount up my grad with foam tape, and in your kit you also have candles, in case you don't know a graduate and you want to do it as a birthday card. You can just cut some candles and put candles up there. Now you do have extra candles, so you could actually put these extra candles like on your Twist and Pop card if you wanted to. And then you also do have the boy and girl graduate, so you have a choice there for which ones. This one has birthday wishes, but some of them I think have celebrate inside there. So yeah, this one has birthday wishes, some of them have celebrate instead. I don't know why they ended up doing birthday wishes. So, but some of them do. Both basically say the same thing, happy birthday. So they go with the candles. So that is our Grad Cap card. I'm going to let you catch up for just a little bit, and I'm going to talk about some of the other stuff that we have. here's a little board that I used the Grad Cap Card. So the dies that are all used on here are from Impression Obsession. Okay, so the grad, the walking grads, the balloons, the birthday wishes. So this is just a white one that I used for a birthday card also. And instead of having a band that attaches on there, this one is actually a band that slides up and down. It's taped onto my board so it doesn't fall off. But this band is a band that wrapped all the way around and then slid up to hold our grad cap closed. And this is the same die that's used in here, and those are from Impression Obsession also. So those are just some samples of some grads. These are the ones that are a specific color. It's a 5-count kit, so you can use those for a specific school. Now they come with this bottom blue layer, this square layer, but they don't come with like the tassels or the grad walking. So that's our Grad Cap Card. We started with the easiest one. So while I'm going to keep talking, I'm going to go on to the Twist and Pop card, and I am going to talk for a little bit. So if you're still assembling, that's fine. Let me get this stuff out of the way, and we will move on to card number 2. We started with the easiest fold. The next one is the Twist and Pop. So we do sell the Twist and Pop in kits. So these are 5-count kits, and they do have in the kit, you get the steno card, which is the card that just folds the long way. You get the Twist and Pop die cut that has everything scored in there. And then you get this little 4-panel accordion. Okay, so that and the envelopes also come in the Twist and Pop kit. Here's a couple other samples. We have this one that's just kind of a really springy, flowery one. But then we also have this one that, surprise, it has oval accordion in there. So oval accordions are fairly new last year. We sell those separately. So we also sell the Twist and Pop insert separately, but we sell the oval accordion separately too. So we don't have the ovals yet in a kit. Couple other things that we used was this square layering die, and that was for like your squares on the front and the squares on the inside. This die I am out of. They are coming in approximately June 9th. So if you order, I may ship your order, but then I will pop this in the mail to you. So you can order it, but it might not come with your original order. So let's go on to the Twist and Pop. I'm going to grab my little demo things. Okay, so you're going to start with the Twist and Pop insert. This time we are starting with the bumps down. So I have the indents facing up at me, and the bumps are down. We're going to start with our mountain fold, which extends all the way across. So I'm just going to mountain fold all the way across. This is basically our Grad Cap fold. Question?
Do you sell the Twist and Pop card die?
We currently do not have the Twist and Pop card die. That is a die that I have been meaning to do. The die company moved. They were out for a while. That's why it's taking so long to get my other dies. So I am going to get on doing the Twist and Pop die, but I do not have it yet. So you will be able to get that in the future, probably about a month down the road. So it will cut. It won't cut this whole piece because that die would be too expensive. It is just going to cut this little section right here, okay, for this mechanism. So we're going to fold it, mountain fold, and again, our bump of the score is down. So when I feel it, my bump is underneath, and my grooves, my indents are on top. So I'm going to fold on the mountain fold, then kind of open it up, and then I'm going to fold my valley folds one at a time on the big X. So one side I fold in and then flatten it, then the other side I fold in and then flatten it. And then just like our Grad Cap card, our little parts were, you know, kind of popping in. So these are my arms. My arms are kind of popping in, and I'm kind of going to push on those. You know, I have my fingers behind my little arms. I'm pushing on those, and that's pulling it all together. So again, fold, mountain fold, flatten it out, valley fold one side of the X, valley fold the other side of the X. Use your fingers. Sorry, that's our air, which if you've taken a class, you've probably heard that before. We have a big sock running through the ceiling. So anyways, take your fingers, fold your arms in, and fold flat. Again, this would be where if you have a bone folder, or like I said, a scissors works really well, just flatten that out. This is actually, the paper again is saying there's a lot of bulk in here, and it's saying I don't want to go there, and you're just kind of saying, yep, you're going there. So that's our twist and pop insert. That's the fold for that. The twist and pop we do sell separately. If you go on our website and you go to the twist and pop kit, and you open that up, the insert is on there as a separate product that you can order it from that page. So now we are going to tape it. So we have our steno card, because both ends of our twist and pop are attaching to the inside of our steno card, and it's opening like that. So for taping, what I normally do is I put tape all the way around one side, and then I attach it. And when I attach it, I kind of line it up starting at the bottom edge, because I have equal borders all the way around. And it's a small border. It's about a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and put tape. So do this with me, or you'll be a little delayed, but tape, tape, tape. And go ahead, and again, this is really hard to do mid-air, so I will be setting it down, and I'm going to line that up, and it's about a 1/16 inch border all the way around. Set it down. So now it's attached to one side. Now, you should be able to just put tape on here and close this up. But with all the bulk in there, you can see the paper doesn't exactly want to sit totally straight. Sometimes it gets a little wonky. So what I do is I put tape on this other side. I turn it around, and again, I match it up to the card with about a 1/16 of an inch border. So you could do this, but it might not be totally straight on your card. So that's why rather I put tape on here, and then I bring my insert piece to my card, line it up, and attach it. Okay, so now we're going to tape all the way around. Now I normally put my tape on the back of things. Sometimes I see people putting tape like what it's attaching to. So you never want to put tape right here because you have this funny angle. I always put tape on the piece that's attaching. So now I'm going to go with my border. Make sure my border is straight, or as straight as possible. If it was perfect, it would be Hallmark. This isn't Hallmark, this is handmade. So if it's a little bit off, it's okay. So now that just folds nice and flat. So that's our twist and pop. Now for I'm just going to show you your pieces that attach inside. So these are our Grad Cap Layers, which are these right here. And they work on the twist and pop also. That's one of my class specials. So you do get that package free along with black glossy, but I'll talk about that later. But you do get that free with a $50 order. And I'm not going to say the code and how to get it here because this is going to be posted on YouTube, but I did post it in a post on this page yesterday. So go back to that. I will also go back and put that, in on a post. But anyways, for these, I did pre-stamp these. I'm just going to go through the stamping really quick, which I use these stamps a lot. They're from Impression Obsession, and they're their big Mega Mount stamps. So you don't have to do this. I'm just giving you a how to use the Mega Mount tutorial, which if you've taken one of my classes, you've seen me do this a lot of times. But refreshers are always nice, and maybe you've never taken one of my classes, so welcome if you never have. Anyways, I'm inking this up, and as you can see, I'm inking it a lot. If you're not sure if you have enough ink, go ahead and ink it some more, because you always get the best result when you have enough ink on your stamp. So usually I have a pad here. I don't, but that's okay. So I usually start with my stamp closer to one edge, and I hold it with my right hand. I have arrows up on here because that's just showing people that they're rocking it that way, and I always tell students to put their fingers up on those arrows. So hold it fairly close to what you're stamping. Hold it with your right hand, left hand up here on the arrows. Rock it forward and roll it up. And that's how you got your plaid background on there. And that's a stamp from Impression Obsession. So it's just really nice. You don't want to go back and forth because you'll get shadowing. So anyways, so for these pieces, and I'm not going to attach them because this is the wrong color card to go with this, you want to make sure, like especially if you decorated your front first, then you know that this is the inside bottom to your card. This is the inside top. So you want to make sure you put your panels on the right side, because if I did this, it would be wrong. My birthday would be upside down. So you always want to make sure if you have something that has writing on it, or a scene, or trees, or something, that you have them facing the right direction. So our happy birthday is on the inside of our card. If we had trees on these two pieces and we stamped them both with the trees along the bottom, when we went to put this one up here, our trees would be upside down. So you just want to be aware before you stamp where your inserts are going. But the good thing about having the insert rather than stamping on here is that if you screw it up, you can always turn it over. Okay, so if you would have stamped it and you needed to turn it over, you can. So you're going to attach these to the inside of your card. You can do that now if you've been sitting here listening to me babble. So anyways, now we're going to go to our accordion. For our accordion, it's just this little 4-panel square accordion, and you're just going to fold like an accordion folds. Back, forth, back, forth. So it's a mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Now you want it as a W. You know, if I turn it over, it's an M. We don't want an M. We want a W. And I'm going to give you the directions for this next part, and in helping the gal on FaceTime yesterday, I figured out a different way to do this. So I'm going to show you both ways, and then you decide which way you want to do it. When we are attaching our W to the inside of the card, the W has to be out like this. If we have the M out, you don't have all the panels there, okay? And it doesn't twist and pop. So it has to be a W attaching. Also, when you're attaching it, you want it about an inch from the edge. So about an inch down from the one edge. If I have it sticking too close to our, our valley right there, then that's going to end up sticking out the bottom of our card. If I have it too far up like this, then when I fold it, this little point gets stuck on the inside of our card. So that's the purpose behind having it about an inch down. Okay, so for doing that, you are going to put tape on your arms. On one arm, you're going to put it above the score, and you only want about an inch of tape. On the other side, you're going to put it below the score and only about an inch of tape. So let me write that on my actual one. And it doesn't matter which one's on the top and which one's on the bottom. So you are going to put tape about an inch. On one arm, it's above the score. On the other arm, it's below the score. Then, and I'm going to show this multiple times, so, and this is usually where people have the biggest problem, is putting this accordion in here. So I'm going to repeat it multiple times. I'm going to show you a couple different ways. I'll repeat it again. If you need to just watch now and then go back later and start and stop me, you can do that. But you're going to have your W, and I usually close it, you know, so it's a W, and I take my taped side, center it left to right, and it's about an inch down. So this is doing it mid-air, okay? If you're not comfortable that way, take it and put your W on the table in front of you, you know, with your W facing that way, and bring your taped arm and bring it right down to it like that. If you're not comfortable doing it mid-air, have your W facing the left. Well, it might be right, 'cause you guys are opposite of me, but having it face away from your arms, and then attach your arm. And you want your arm centered left to right and about an inch down. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on there just so I can pull it off and show you again. So again, I have my W, I close it, I have my arm with my tape on it, and I attach it centered and approximately 1 inch down. Now, when I open it, my W is there. Now we need to attach the other end of our W to the other arm. There's also 2 ways of doing this. Sometimes when you do it just kittywampus and you just plunk it down, it won't fold right. But I found out yesterday if you just kind of lay it down, sometimes, this time I wasn't so lucky, but see if you just lay it down you get this little kittywampus, but sometimes you can get it to attach and fold without being all kittywampus. No, so I like my way better. So if we have this flat, and I'm going to have Rick zoom in, if we have this flat, this arm needs to be on the opposite side. So once we fold it, sometimes it will try to go on the same side like that. You don't want it on the same side. So when you're folding it, you might have to make sure your arm is on the opposite side. Okay, so you want this arm to attach on the end of your, on the opposite end of your accordion. So you might have to, your arm might want to go like this onto the same side, but you can't have both arms on one side. So you might have to make sure that arm attaches to the other side, and then you're just kind of folding it flat. So I'm going to detach it, so we can go through that again. I'm going to detach both of them. Okay, so again, our W, we take our arm with tape on above the score. On our other arm, our tape is below. We attach that centered left to right and about an inch down. Then we have our W that opens up. We need our other arm to attach to the other side of our W. We're going to hold that tight like that, and it might go to the underneath, and where you have 2 arms on one side, you do not want 2 arms on one side. You need this arm to be on the opposite side, and you can just fold that flat and then give it a little push. So I'm going to just talk for a little bit while you guys are doing that. If you have problems, I will go through it again. If you're really struggling, FaceTime was helpful yesterday. So, anyways, so on our twist and pop, on all of our layers, I did attach these squares. The black pieces, those are dies from Impression Obsession. I think they're on their sale page right now. So their page is iostamps.com, and I think those are on their sale page. They're called birthday cutouts. And then behind that, we have our checkers holographic. Now on our grad card, we used our blast holographic. Our holographic does come as a variety pack. There's 4 different holographics. So the holographics are kind of fun. I did pop these up with foam tape. Now, when you put a lot of bulk inside there, see how it doesn't close real flat, because I made it not close flat because I added more bulk with my foam tape, because I'm a foam tape kind of girl. So it's up to you whether you want to add foam tape to pop those up or not. You won't, it'll be a little bit less bulky if you don't use foam tape on the inside. They do come with an A2 envelope. This will be really tight in an A2 envelope. So you might have to upgrade to an A6 envelope if you use a lot of bulk. Okay. So, and mine is it gets a little twisty just with that twist thing on the inside. It doesn't sit like a real flat card. And that's just the nature of the bulkiness of the paper. So that's that twist and pop. Let me show you the other couple ones that I have here again. So we have that flower one. This one I had a little bit of bulk on the inside, but this one does lay much flatter because I only have one little thing popped up right there. And then we have our one with the ovals. And the oval attaches the same way. You'll make it into a W, and the 2 ends of the W attach to your 2 arms. So that is the twist and pop. Do we have any questions on that one? You guys are doing great. So we haven't had hardly any questions, but do let me know if you are missing the little black squares. Let me know and I will get those in the mail to you. So I do apologize for that. It just must have been a bad busy day. So things happen in life, as we all know. So that was our twist and pop card. We are going to go on and I'll talk for a little bit. So if you're still working on assembling that, that's fine. Oh, the one thing I forgot to talk about. With the twist and pop, when you're attaching your pieces on here, if you have your accordion already on there, it doesn't lay real flat. So you just kind of have to gently attach those pieces on there.
Okay, someone said, is it easier to decorate the folded strip before or after you put it on?
It's probably easier to decorate the strip beforehand than after. But sometimes I like to do it after because I change my mind a lot. So I'll kind of have in my mind what it's going to look like, but then it doesn't always work. So I personally decorate it after because I don't want to put my whole thing together and then have it not work with the rest of what's going on. And I change my mind a lot. So it probably is easier to decorate it before you attach it. When you're attaching stuff to the inside, you just have to be very careful, not push down real hard in here because it can't really lay flat. So when I am decorating, I just kind of push from both sides. Okay, so they both have their ups and downs. But yes, you could decorate your strip and then attach it in. So that was a good question, and I forgot to talk about that. So I am going to go on to the reverse explosion card, and I'm just going to talk for a little bit about that. With the reverse explosion, this is on a 15-inch piece of paper. So we have these pre-cut or pre-scored. We do not have a die for these because it's just too long. And it can explode either way. So this is one way, or ignore how dirty it is because it's just been on my table. It can fold this way. And you would just do your folds backwards. So yes, it can go both ways. But we do have those in a package of 10 cards, 10 envelopes, or there are some variety packages where you can just get 25 cards. So those are on our website. If you can't find them, just search reverse and you'll find them real fast. We also used our diamond print glitter paper, which I'm going to talk about that. And we used, on our multiple projects, we used the black glossy. Now this is also a show special with a $35 purchase, or a class special for you all. And again, I posted yesterday on how to find those specials or how to get them into your basket. And I'm not going to say it now because this is going to go on YouTube. But with a $35 purchase, you get the black glossy, and with a $50 purchase, you get both items. So another thing that we have going on, because we did I did a virtual convention this morning where I talked about the Z-fold cards. So right now in our coupon code, you use this code and you get 20% off of all dies. And you can still get your class specials too. But for your class specials to qualify, it has to be after the coupon code is applied. You have to be at the $35 or the $50. So, okay, so let's go on. Now this one, it's a lot of the same folds. However, we have them multiple times across there. So we're going to go to our actual card, and this time we have our bumps down. Okay, so we have our grooves up. So our bumps are down. And if you're doing it as the other type of explosion, then you would just, you know, turn it over and do it opposite. So we're going to start on our mountains, or on our straight scores, and we're going to fold those all as mountains. Now we're not going to fold them all on top of each other like that. We're just going to kind of fold one, then unfold it, fold the next one, unfold it, fold the next one, unfold it, then fold the last one. So they're kind of just all eased like that. They're not all folded on top of each other. And then we kind of open it up, you know, flatten it out. Now we're going to concentrate on this X right here. So we have our valley fold and our valley fold. So we're going to go to one side of our X and valley fold. Then we're going to go to the other side of our X and valley fold. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other X. And you have another big X. And we are going to valley fold on those. So we're going to valley fold. And we're going to valley fold. So I'm going to go through that one more time. So on your straight ones, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold. And then on our X's, so we have this X right here, we're going to valley fold and valley fold, and then just kind of flatten it out. On the other X, which is right here, again, valley fold, valley fold. Now you can kind of see that these are popping in. Now these are like the Grad Cap and the Twist and Pop. It's basically the same concept, you just have a little bit more folds going on right there. So now you're going to take your fingers right here where it's squeezing in, and you're going to squeeze in, but then you're also going to fold that down at the same time. So squeeze in and fold down. And this is when you can grab your bone folder or scissors and just flatten that all out. Then you're going to go to your other side. You're going to squeeze in and fold down. So again, you're going to take your fingers, these two parts that are popping in, squeeze in and fold down. And again, use your bone folder and fold those nice and flat. Again, your paper does not really want to fold like this. It's a lot of bulk in here, but we're kind of making it. So these center parts might not touch. That's just the nature of having so many folds. So that's our reverse explosion. I'll show it one more time in case you're scratching your head yet. So we're going to mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold. So my straight ones were mountains. My diagonal ones, valley fold, valley fold. Over here, on this X, valley fold, valley fold. Then we have our little things that are popping in, so we use our fingers, pop that in, and fold that down at the same time to one side, flatten it all out, and then on the other side, pop it in and fold it down. So that's our reverse, that's the base of our reverse explosion card. Okay, so now the things that we have attaching to our reverse explosion card, and I just want to talk about these for a little bit. Right here, put that out of the way. These pieces right here. Oh, we got a question.
What is the weight of the paper for the final card?
For this card?
I believe so.
For the reverse explosion, I used an 80-pound cardstock. There are some colored ones on our website, like the festive variety is 100-pound cardstock. So the white, the cream, I believe the black are all 80, and there might be pewter and fossil too. I'm not sure right off the top of my head the colors. But then some of the funner colors, sour apple, blue raspberry, razzleberry, orange fizz, those are 100-pound. So usually for card bases, we like to for sure do 80, and then sometimes 100. So anyways, for these pieces right here, I was going to mask them off and stamp everyone, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me forever. You wouldn't have gotten your kits on time. So I did talk to Impression Obsession, and they let me print them out. So these pieces are printed. These are printed on our 65-pound cardstock. So you can feel that it's a little bit less bulky. And I did use, during my supplies, I said that a paper trimmer would be helpful. You don't have to have one, but if you have a paper trimmer, you can just go trim those in half or a little bit less than half, and I'm going to show you that. If you don't have a personal paper trimmer, you can take a ruler or some type of straight edge. Oops, what do I have for a straight edge? Oh, I do have a ruler. If you don't have a personal paper trimmer, your alternative is on the back of it, just draw your line and cut it. Also, for these pieces, I just attached them because I used our 65-pound cardstock. I just attached them right over the score and then bent it. But if you don't want to do that, you can cut them into smaller triangles. And to do that, I would definitely draw on the back the X, because then after you trim it in half, oops, my trimmer just went a little wonky. After you trim it back, then you have a line on there to cut it into your smaller triangle. I'm not doing that because I just took this piece, used adhesive, and attached it on. Now, you can trim it directly in half, and it pretty much goes close to edge, but if you want to see a bigger white border in there, you can cut a little bit more off that triangle and you'll get a bigger border. So that's up to you, but I did just take a smaller adhesive because I wanted to go all the way to my corners. If you don't get all the way into the corners, sometimes it'll pop up a little bit. So I like to do it all the way into the corners with my adhesive, and then I do a little bit down the center too, because then when you fold it, it sticks. So I attached that right over that triangle, right over that fold. And you could attach these before you actually fold it, and then it folds pretty easy because it was the 65-pound cardstock. So those two printed triangles you're going to attach in these open sections right here. Okay, I'm not going to do all of mine. So right now I'm just going to kind of go through the rest of the assembly of this card, and I'm probably going to be talking faster than you will be able to assemble. But then I'm going to talk at the end and you can keep assembling. But right now I do want to talk about the stamped cardstock. So I did stamp the glitter paper with Stays On. Do we have a question? Nope, okay, we're good. So I did stamp the glitter paper with Stays On. If I take my finger and I rub it, it's on there, it's not coming off. However, when you take a blending brush to it, and you're rubbing on it, sometimes it does smear a little bit. So, in this instance, I would rather have you do a tappy tap up and down rather than a blendy circular motion. Okay, so, and that is also why I gave you extra pieces, because if you want to blend some extra pieces and stamp these with Stays On with your own stamp, you have a couple extra pieces to do that. Okay, so for my blending brush, I like to hold my blending brush with my thumb behind the head. If you have the blending brushes that have like the gold or the rose gold, those are a little brittler than the ones that are the solid plastic bendy ones. So I have had those snap off when you don't put your thumb behind the brush head. So the rose gold ones are pretty, but they're not as practical. So for picking up my color, I like to go in a circular motion to pick that color up. And normally this ink pad is yellow. Mine is just contaminated with something, so anyways. But anyways, we can blend a little. And since it has been drying for 2 weeks, I'm not getting any smearing right now. But I just want to caution not to blend too hard, or I would prefer you to just kind of do a tappy tap with your different colors on there, because then you won't get any smearing. And then this should dry, especially with a dye-based ink. It should dry, but if it doesn't dry, depending on your inks, you can always take a heat tool to it and dry it. Okay? So you're going to do your 3 colors. You're going to do your yellow and just kind of wherever you want. And you're going to do that. You have 2 of these pieces, 2 squares. You have 2 squares and 2 longer strips. So you have 2 longer strips and 2 squares. I'm not going to do all of mine, but this is what you'll be blending your colors on. This one was one of the first ones I did. And I did get a little bit of smearing on there. But these have been drying for a long time. And then you can use whatever pink. You could also use a stipple brush if you don't have blending brushes, because you are just literally going up and down. So you're just adding some color. There's no right way or wrong way to add your color. But you're just adding some color on there. So, and you're going to do that with all 4 of these pieces, or if you want to use your blank pieces, you can do that instead. Now, these are going to attach to the black piece that you have. You're going to attach these on the ends. And then you have 1 piece that attaches to your black square that goes in the middle. 1 piece and a black square that you need to trim in half that go on these 2 sides. So when you do it, again, you can trim it a little bit smaller than half if you want, and then you'll have a little bit bigger of a border. So right now it's a pretty small border on there. So if you want to trim this piece a little bit smaller, you'll end up with a little bit bigger black border. So that's up to you how you want to trim that. For your words, so I got a little bit of ink on there, but for your words, you are probably best kind of laying your words on one of your black squares, turning it over to the back, and taking a pencil and drawing that angle. Oops. So drawing your angles and then snipping those off. And you might want to snip them off a little bit inside of that. And I just did that really fast, so mine might not match really good. So then that will fit. It fits almost exactly on that, so you can trim as much off of there as you want, and then you'll either see more or less of that square. So it's up to you how much you want to trim off on either side. But that's just going to attach right onto there. And then you're going to do the same thing with the Us Friends Always. Kind of set it on there, or you can even attach it and then just trim it off at the right angles. So that's how to get your words on there in those pieces. Now, for the You Make Me Happy, there are 3 You Make Me Happies in there. 2 of them are white and 1 of them is black. The black one goes on the top, and this is just stacking your words up just to give it a little bit dimension. Okay, so what I normally do is I put adhesive, like I put my You Make Me Happy down, I put some adhesive on it, and then I attach it. Okay, so just very gently when you're doing that, put adhesive on the You Make Me Happy that's down here, and then attach from the bottom up. So when you're doing the black glossy one, just make sure your fingers are clean, because you don't want to get dirty fingers with glue on top of the black glossy, because you won't get it off. So just when you're doing that last one, make sure your fingers are nice and clean. Okay, and I like to use my glue pen for this, but just again, be very minimalistic with your glue if you're using a wet glue, because you won't get it off the front of the black glossy. And then that just attaches onto there. When you are attaching this piece, very important, only put tape under that first half. If you put tape on the whole thing, you will tape your card shut. Then you would be sad, and I can't help you there. So anyways, just put tape on this front half. So that is pretty much our reverse explosion card, and I know I talked faster for you to assemble it, so I am just going to talk for a little bit longer, but if you have questions, let me know, and then I will let you go and you can finish assembling your card. Again, the reverse explosion is a 10 count package, or there are some 25 count packages. There is an all color variety of these, which is really nice, because I think there's 10 colors. I think it used to be 13, but anyways, it's 2 of each one in a package. So if you can't decide on colors, you can get that, the bulk variety. But make sure when you pick the bulk variety that you pick the right pricing option, because our website doesn't automatically make you pick the correct option. Then we had our crystal diamond glitter that it looks really pretty with your blending brush and different colors of ink. To stamp on it, I did use StazOn. So, and it dried, but it seems to smear a little bit with the blending brushes, not sure why. But if your dye-based ink is still wet on there, wet to your fingers, you can always heat set it a little bit to dry it. And then we had black glossy all over that card, just in different spots. Also, what did I want to tell you? Oh, I was going to tell you about a couple things that I have coming up. My next class is going to be everything triple class. So it's our triple Z fold. We've got our triple oval mini windows on there. And then we've got triple mini circle windows on there. We're going to do a triple flag Z fold and also a triple mini or triple circle Z fold. Now in this class you can order just the paper kit, or there is an option to order it with the triple circle die, because you're going to get some paper and we're actually in class going to die cut a card and an overlay to go on it. So if you don't have the triple circle Z fold card, you can order that with the class kit, or if you already have that, you can just order the class kit without it. So this class is June 19th and 20th. Class kits are not going to ship until like the 9th through the 12th. So if you place an order today or in the next few days, if you don't mind it coming, being shipped the 9th through the 12th, you'll just get everything together. If you have graduation stuff that you need to work on and you're like, I need my order right away, then place 2 orders, because we're going to hold any of the class orders and ship them, you know, with all your products together. So yes, there might be a little bit of delay in shipping those products, you know, any class products that you're using if you ordered this class kit. So another thing that we have going on next weekend is an alcohol ink craft along, and that is, we're making these 2 cards. That's not on my page, it's on the one of a kind virtual event page. So we're making those 2 cards, and you can order that either as a paper only kit where you get the cards plus you get a bunch of paper to play with that we're going to play with during the craft along, or you can order it complete where you get the actual alcohol inks, the dauber, and your felts. So there's a lot coming up. We're kind of really liking doing the virtual thing. I like to see you all in person, but the virtual thing has been working. So we'll probably continue that even when we can go to shows, because I know we've had some people saying continue doing some virtual stuff. So we will continue doing that. But I do want to see you in person at some point. So if you have any questions, just post them on here. I will read them and get them to you, you know, answer you later. But otherwise, I'm going to be gone for the day. So have a good rest of the day, and thank you for joining me.